Freidheim is former CEO who was on the top of the world and then suddenly faced bankruptcy. He also experienced two edge-of-life experiences, including 9/11. Well, he wrote a book to help others make larger-than-life decisions during turbulent times. Here's our interview with him. Okay, the first two chapters of your book deal with the 9/11 attack. What can you share about this experience and really how it changed you?
9/11 was one of those seminal moments in life. And my experience was I was on the management team at a Wall Street firm downtown. We were in 3 World Financial Center, which is the building that's connected to the North Tower. And when the first plane hit, I thought erroneously that it was a terrorist attack. So I called my brother, said, "They just bombed the North Tower, I'm out of here." But I went to the elevator, pushed the button, and said to myself, our chairman and CEO is not on premise, I can't go. So for the next period of time, I worked on evacuating our employees.
Okay.
Once that was accomplished, I thought, you know what? I'm actually getting stuff done. I'm still thinking clearly. It was so traumatic that lots of people froze.
Sure.
And that's a natural reaction when you have trauma to the extreme. And I actually stayed in the building until the point where the South Tower was collapsing. And at that point in time, I thought it was too late. I didn't think I was going to get out. When I was sprinting down the stairs to get out, there was no one in the stairwell. The building was empty. But when I got to the lobby, there was a fireman standing there, which I didn't see because I was so focused on getting out. We had 4-story atrium in the lobby, and it was black because, as you recall, when the South Tower collapsed, downtown was engulfed with
I can't imagine.
Black. It wasn't even like smoke. And I didn't think I was going to get out, and he screamed and snapped me out of a moment in time where I froze. So I really have to thank him. And the beginning of the book starts off with 9/11 because I think we owe such a debt of gratitude to all of the heroes in our community. And it's the police, the fire people, it's humanitarian aid people, it's healthcare service providers, first responders. Those are really the heroes in modern day society.
That is wonderful to hear that, and I'm sure through that experience you learned so much about yourself as well. But look, you did a heroic thing too, wanting to go back and be there for your staff and people you knew that were there. Aside from 9/11, which was already a huge impact, in your opinion, what does a person need to make that change professionally or personally with a positive attitude, no matter what experience they've been through?
I think one of the things is, and the impetus for writing the book was, I went through another moment in time, which was a near certain death experience where I was riding on a bicycle on a highway. I was actually going from Aspen, Colorado to Colorado Springs to give a talk at the U.S. Olympic Committee that I'm involved with. And I went over a rumble strip and lost control of the bike and was ejected into a truck coming the other way. Somehow I survived, but in that moment in time, what I realized was what you achieve, accomplish, accumulate in life is irrelevant. What matters is how you live your life. So the practical advice that I would say is, just as you write down personal goals, whatever those personal goals might be, just as you write down professional goals, whatever those might be, it might make sense. I know I'm only one data point of what happens in the edge of life, but it might make sense to have a list that are the tenets, the behaviors by which you aspire to live by. That's the premise of the book.
Okay, it sounds fascinating. It's so intriguing. Now, let me ask you this. What are the 3 things, or what would you say are 3 things today's leaders need to master?
I think leaders in general are pretty good at understanding the business. I think leaders are pretty good at understanding strategy. Culture, in my view, is the most important thing an organization can have. And within that, since it's got to be genuine, if a leader thinks of what are those tenets by which they aspire, whether it's relentlessness, compassion, grace, love, whatever those things are, they should focus on those. Not enough attention gets to how we want to live our life, and coming from the top, it really matters.
Yes, it does. Well, Scott, I've got one more question for you. Now, you've achieved so much in your life, been through so many experiences. How does this book work for the everyday average person who maybe hasn't been through that?
I don't think you have to go through it. I think the reason I said I'm going to spend the next, I don't know how long it was going to take, 3 years,
with the book,
was because there was a revelation. The revelation was what matters is how you live your life. So I think it's pretty easy to actually get started. I actually created a website for that purpose, scottfreidheim.com, and you can take a personalized quiz that'll get you started and get you your personal code of conduct. Yours is going to be different than mine.
Yeah.
Yours may be grounded in philosophy, in religion. I don't know what religion, it doesn't matter, but our country is getting ripped apart, and it's everyone filtering information to drive their value, not ours. So I think it's incredibly important for each one of us to make sure we fulfill our own legacy, and it starts with, how do you want to live your life?
Those are wonderful, powerful words. I can't wait to read that book. Scott, such a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Code of Conduct, Tales of the Roller Coaster of Life by Scott Freidheim is available now wherever books are sold. And take the online quiz to learn more about your own Code of Conduct, scottfreidheim.com.